This is a Prime Minister with a commanding majority, but the pressure is beginning to show. Today, Keir Starmer was in Warrington, and much of his attention was on Nigel Farage and the economic announcements he made earlier this week.
Can you trust him with your future? Can you trust him with your jobs? Can you trust him with your mortgages, your pensions, your bills? And he gave the answer on Tuesday. A resounding no.
The Prime Minister was reacting to a policy package unveiled by Nigel Farage earlier this week. Proposals that include scrapping the two-child benefit cap, restoring the winter fuel allowance and raising the income threshold before people begin paying tax. The Prime Minister says it's fantasy economics, but why so much of a focus on Farage and not the official opposition, the Tories? You're attacking Reform UK and Nigel Farage directly today. Is that because you now view Nigel Farage as your biggest threat and biggest opponent?
The Conservative Party has run out of road, and it's very important, therefore, that we say that and identify that. But equally, politics is about choices, and the choice at the moment is between the choice of a Labour government that thinks that stable finances are at the heart of building better lives for working people, or Nigel Farage and Reform.
While Reform say it's a clear sign he sees them as a threat.
There's obviously panic stations at Labour. Look, Keir Starmer is panicking because his awful government is now trailing Reform by a staggering 8 points in the latest YouGov poll.
The party has just 5 MPs, but did well in the recent local elections and is leading in the polls. At the last general election, Reform UK came second in nearly 100 constituencies, including here in St Helens South, just a stone's throw away from where the Prime Minister was speaking today. And here there were mixed views about the Prime Minister.
I don't know yet. You've got to give him 4 years to do something, to see if he does improve.
He's too busy out the country. The more he is in here, sorting things out.
What about Nigel Farage? What do you think about Nigel Farage?
Nigel Farage? I've never heard of him.
He seems honest, straightforward. It's what he says he sees to mean, you know.
With an election still years away, it is places like Warrington which may ultimately have a huge say. And that's why political dividing lines are being drawn now.
And Shehab's here to talk more about this. I mean, we should remind ourselves, really, that this is a party that just has a handful of MPs, Reform UK. Is the Prime Minister panicking?
Well, I've been speaking to Labour MPs about this all day, and there seem to be different views in terms of their reaction to what they've seen today. You've got some who think this shouldn't be happening. We're a long way away from a general election. If we're going to have one, it's going to be in a few years' time. The outlook of the country is going to be very different. As you say, Reform have only got a handful of MPs. Labour have got more than 400. They think this has given Nigel Farage and Reform UK more credibility than they already had, that there was no need for this. On the other hand, you've got a group of Labour MPs who are very concerned, and it's because Reform came second in almost 100 constituencies last time round, the vast majority of which are Labour-held constituencies. And we saw in the recent by-election in Runcorn, a seat which was a safe Labour seat went to Reform. There are those Labour MPs in those seats, particularly in the Red Wall, who are worried. They have been pushing Number 10 to do something to take the fight to Nigel Farage. Those MPs that I speak to are very, very praiseworthy of the Prime Minister. They think this is a good move. But the truth is, there is a very long time to go before there's a general election, and there will be some who will be saying, and I've spoken to a number of people in Westminster today who say the Prime Minister should be focusing on governing. He shouldn't be going out, holding these press conferences just to attack one of his political opponents, the political opponent not even being the leader of the opposition.